3, 2, 1, 0. We are live. We are late. Sorry, folks. Monica Corrado here. I hope you can hear me. If you can, send me a thumbs up. I am having to work this without my earplugs today, so hopefully, my earphones today, so hopefully you can hear me well. I am welcoming you to this week's Ask the Gap Chef. Today, we're going to talk about meat stock. Meat stock. Hello, Abby. All right. So again, Monica Corrado here, the Gap Chef. I am a teaching chef. I am a holistic nutritionist, and I love to help people learn how to cook for gaps and how to be well through real food. So, welcome to anyone that's new to the page. Welcome to anyone who's new to this forum. I invite you to take a look at all the Facebook Lives that I've done the last year or two on our page, and also to jump on the YouTube channel, Ask the Gap Chef, and see what you can find there that would be helpful to you. Hello. Let's say welcome. Hello, Abby. Hello, Kathy. Good to see you. Okay. Hello, Jody. Jody is here. Hello, Yasmin. Haven't seen you in a while. Hiya, right back. Hello, Edil. Hello. All right. So I thought it would be fun. How do you like the short haircut? Anyway, not too short. I thought it would be fun for us to start with back to basics. So over the next couple of weeks, I am going to go over basics of gaps because I think it's helpful. I think if I answer questions about the basics, a lot of the confusion and everything else can go away. Hello, Joanna. Good to see you, lady. Good to have you here. Okay, so let's get started. Today, again, could someone give me a thumbs up if you are able to hear me okay? Because somehow I did not plug in my little phone, and I want to make sure you can hear me. I want to make sure this is high enough. I don't know. Hopefully you can hear me well. All right. Okay, so let's start with meat stock. I thought I'd say meat stock. Since meat stock is a foundational food for gaps or in gaps, and everyone is drinking and eating meat stock, whether you start in stage 1 or you start in full gaps, it doesn't matter where you are or you've graduated to full gaps from intro. Maybe you're sitting on stage 2 for a while. Everyone is drinking meat stock. So again, if you're just starting out on stage 1 intro, you will be having meat stock for all of stage 1. We'll talk about that in a minute, what that means. If you start in full gaps, it's a really great idea for you to begin your full gaps journey with at least 2 cups of meat stock a day, maybe 3 if you're an adult. If you graduate from intro diet, pardon me, having done all of the 6 stages, then when you get to full gaps, you will maintain meat stock every single day. You'll have meat stock. So it's a really important thing to understand, and it is the thing that made me write my first book about meat stock. Oh, goodness gracious. How long ago was that? 2015, maybe? Long time ago. 8 years ago now. Going on 9. Okay. So, meat stock. There are 3 really important things about meat stock that I'd like to go over. First are, what kinds of bones do I use? Second is, how much water is in meat stock? Third is, how long do I cook it? Those are 3 points, really important. It will differentiate meat stock from bone broth which is not something we have on the intro diet, and it is not something we start full gaps with, and it may be something that you graduate to eventually. So bone broth has its own problems, and I talk extensively about the excitotoxins in bone broth in that section of my book. So let's just talk. So what kind of bones do I need for meat stock? I need meaty bones. Isn't that great? Isn't that smart? Isn't that easy to remember? What do I need? What kind of bones do I need for meat stock? I need meaty bones versus bones that do not have meat on them. So remember, folks, you need meaty bones. So when we're talking about poultry or birds, we're either talking about a full chicken, a whole chicken. We're talking about chicken thighs and legs. We love the quarters because they have dark meat. Chicken breasts are something you could put in the freezer for later. White meat, not very nutritious. So you can also work with turkey wings, turkey thighs, turkey legs, pheasant, you name it, goose, duck, get a bird, God bless them, and make some meat stock. If you're working with anything else, you're working with a mammal, you're working with beef, bison, lamb, pork, maybe you're working with venison, maybe you're working with goat, etc., etc. If we're working with a mammal, then you're looking at shanks, right? Shanks for sure. You are looking at meaty neck bones. So it has to be neck bones with a lot of meat around them. You often can get meaty neck bones. Lamb, certainly lamb, sometimes beef, for a lot less money than you can buy another cut. So yay, meaty neck bones, shanks, ribs, short ribs. We're always looking for the combination of meat, a joint, right? A joint means a bone, but it could also mean a joint, like joints in your fingers and joints in your neck joint, and connective tissue, right? So you want to make sure that you're getting the right types of meat. If making a whole chicken is too much meat for you, if using legs and thighs is, again, too much meat for you, I talk extensively, write extensively about what I call low meat stock, which is in my book, which talks about using necks, backs, wings, far less meat, still will give you a wonderful meat stock. So I just want to bring that up. So those are the types of bones you're using. One more time with feeling. We're using meaty bones to make meat stock. You cannot make a pot of meat stock from a bunch of marrow bones. Marrow bones are wonderful. They are nutritious, delicious, wonderful. And you want to make sure that you can add marrow bones to meaty bones for some more nutrition. But you don't want to make a whole pot of marrow bones because they are what we call bones. They're bony bones. They're not meaty bones. They're just bone, no meat on them. And that will not give you a meat stock. Just like we don't want to make a whole pot of just chicken feet. I know a lot of people are doing that for the gel, and that's fabulous, but that's not meat stock. That is chicken feet stock. You're welcome to add chicken feet and chicken heads to any of your poultry stocks. Some people are adding chicken feet to beef stock and lamb stock, whatever. That's mixing species. It's not a bad thing to do, but it is kind of weird. So I just wanted to go over bones. What kinds of bones? Meaty bones. If you don't know if it's going to work, look and see. Does this bone have meat on it? Does this bone have connective tissue? Right? Connective tissue. Is there skin? Is there cartilage? Are there ligaments? Are there tendons? Right? So we need meat, bone, connective tissue in order to make a meat stock, in order to have a meaty, to use, for it to be a meaty bone. Okay, so meat stock uses meaty bones. You're welcome, as I said, to add things like marrow bones and knuckle bones into a stock, but they are not going to give you a meat stock. All right, number 2, water. Water needs to be pure, as you all know. Please, if at all possible, do not use water out of a tap. We don't want to use tap water because, at least in the U.S., tap water equals lots and lots of chemicals, which will destroy your gut and kill off all those beautiful microbes that you're trying to grow and balance, right? So we want to use tap water. If you have a tap, if you're using tap water, make sure you filter it. Really got to use filtered water. You can use spring water. You can use, pretty much those are your options. Spring water, filtered water. So the quality of the water counts, and you want to only use enough to cover by 1 to 2 inches maximum. So you put your bones in the pot and you cover by 1 inch to 2 inches. At some point, I should convert that to centimeters, right? Sorry for being so American. In any case, not more than the size of your thumb. How's that? Do not cover the bones with more water than as tall as your thumb is. For most people, that'll be about 2 inches, unless you have really big hands, and then, well, that's another story. Okay, so number 1, we talked about meaty bones, and what are they, and where do you find them? Of course, we always want grass-fed, grass-finished, pastured, and at least organic, not eating GMO feed, whatever you do. My nose is red. Rudolph. Sorry. Okay, so we talked about what is a meaty bone. We've also talked about water and how much. I also have written the formula of it's basically 1 pound of meaty bones to 1 quart or liter of water. Again, I need to make that conversion between pounds and kilograms. Sorry. All right, so meaty bones, water. What's the last piece? Time. Time. I'm not talking about THYME. I'm talking about TIME. We're talking about the clock. Okay. So meat stock, the hallmark of meat stock is short cooking. So poultry, 1.5 hours to 3 hours. Yes. 3 hours for tough birds that have been on pasture. Usually 1.5 hours is enough to get a fabulous gelatinous chicken stock, turkey stock, pheasant stock. What do you got? Quail stock, all sorts of things. Yeah, bird stock. Okay. And then when we're talking about lamb or pork or beef or bison, we're really talking about 4 to 6 hours. Or the amount of time it takes for the meat to fall off the bone, which may be less than that time. Yeah? All right. So those are the things I wanted to start with. I'm happy to talk with you about anything that you want to talk about meat stock or anything else. Just so all of you are clear, there is a chart. Yeah, my little Cooking for Wellbeing GAPS Introduction Diet Chart. That's probably backwards for you. I'm sorry. That is available for you free. You just download it from our page, Ask the Gap Chef, and you can print it out and put it on your fridge. And then ask me any questions you want about that. Okie doke. That's what I've got. Let's see what we've got. I'm saying hello to people. Hello. Joanna, I'll get your question in a minute. Let me say hello to everybody. Hello, Barrett Brown. Good to have you. Hello, Anissa. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Happy to see you. Hello, Laura. Good to have you with us. Lena is here. Niska. Hello, Niska. Yes, glad to be back listening in person. Me too. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad I'm in person talking, because December was rough with my immune system upgrade happening. Hello, Sandy. Sandy has gotten with us. Woohoo! Hello, Yasmin. Okay. The ratio of meat to water, 1 to 1. 1 pound to 1 liter or 1 quart. 2 pounds to 2 liters or 2 quarts. Please make the conversion, and I'm really sorry. Maybe I have the conversion. I have a conversion table in the latest copy of my book. Let's see if I can find it right now, because we did this, because it was important. Equipment and tools and chart. Let's see. Maybe I didn't do it. Boy, oh boy, just yet another version has to be done. Alrighty. Sorry about that. Okay, there you go. All right, Anissa says, Monica, my oxtail takes longer than 6 hours to be nicely soft. I hear you. Yes, that's fine. Oxtail is one of those fabulous meaty bones because it's got everything you need. It's got the bone, it's got the connective tissue, it's got the meat, it's got the fat. It's fantastic. I made an oxtail last week. Oh my God. I will post a picture on the page of the cube of stock that I cut out of the pot. It was like Jell-O, but it was oxtail. And I cooked it for 4 hours in a 275 degrees Celsius, 275 degree Fahrenheit. I'm sorry, look at me, which is about 140, I think, Celsius, maybe 140, 135 Celsius. Yes. So delicious. So that's fine. Oxtail will take longer. 6 hours is fine. All right. And I really do encourage all of you, certainly in this season of winter, which we've been in since the 21st of December, to try making meat stock in a Dutch oven in the oven. Very low temperature, fantastic. Some people like to bring it to a boil on the stove. Skim any scum and discard. Put the lid on and stick it in at 275 Fahrenheit, which is I'm thinking it's about 135 Celsius. I'm not sure, but a low one. Yeah, low oven. All right. You're welcome, Anissa. Yes. Let's see what we've got. I think that Joanna had a question. All right, Joanna. Keeping meat below the water while cooking, it pops up, floats above the surface. This is terrible. No, this is not terrible. However, there's a little trick which I love to use, which is this. Cover the meat. Don't cover like dump a whole bunch, but take some fat and make sure that you put it on the meat, because as it comes above the water, it could dry out. This is the way to keep it from drying out if it pops above the water. That will often happen when I'm making meat stock in my oven. It's just a great idea. Take some bacon grease, take some lard, take some tallow, take some ghee, whatever you got, and just take your knife and spread it on top of the meat. It's a great thing to do. Yes, not a problem. It does happen. Yes. All right, let's see. La, 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 la. I'm going to stay with meat stock questions for a beginning, and then I'll come back. Kathy says, my stew hen won't stay covered. The other thing is, ladies, because I think most of us are ladies on today. If there's any men, hello, everyone. The other thing is, make sure you're not cooking it too high, folks. We are never boiling. We bring to a boil. We skim and discard scum. We put down to a simmer. Then we put the lid on. If your meaty bones, hens, whatever, are popping above the surface, it may be that you want to check your temperature. Make sure it's not boiling because, yeah. The other thing is you may want to cut up your stew hen if you're not already doing that, everyone, because then you'll expose more of the joints to the water. Yes. Okay. Hope that's helpful. Laura has a question. Please clarify. Blue Book, page 189, fish stock to drink and eat the fish. Then page 190.7 says introduce. All right. Hold on, folks. Boom. Okay. Let's take a look. She said 189. Of course, I've got my book with me. I hope you all do too. I hope you're all reading it and rereading it and reading it and rereading it because it's full of great info. All right, 189. I'm looking. Yes, try cutting it, Kathy. It may help. All right. Point 189. Fish stock to drink and eat the fish. Make the stock. Blah, 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 blah. Gradually make this. The skin must be descaled before cooking the fish. Gradually make the stock. Okay, I'm not really finding where you're saying she's saying eat the fish. Hold on. Start from meat stock made from this or that. Pork, fresh fish with heads and skin. Start with a few teaspoons. Okay, and then on page 190.7, introduce fresh fish and shellfish available. Work, descale. Yeah. The skin and fatty parts of the fish. Blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to see what you're asking here. Use a whole fish. Fresh fish with heads and skin. All right, so what's the question? Let's check out the question. Please clarify the Blue Book, blah, blah, blah. Fish stocks to drink and eat the fish. Introduce fish, which is cooking difference between them. One is you're making stock, the other is you're cooking fish. So when you're making stock, it's going to be a longer cook because the outcome is the fish stock, right? And then she's saying introduce fish, which means that you could take a piece of fish, like a fillet of fish or a fillet of fish, and cook it in a little bit of water and eat it. That's all. One is making stock, one is eating fish. Just want to check something. Hold on. See if I can find it. I'm looking at meat stock. Yeah. So on page 48 of my book, we're going to look and see fish. At least 9 ounces or up to 3 pounds of small fish or the bones, fins, skins, or the head of larger fish. 1 to 1.5 hours. So you're just making, one, you're making a stock, which is going to be cooked for an hour and a half. 2 is cooking a fish, which would take probably 20 minutes in a little bit of water. And it's probably going to be a fillet of fish that you're going to be working with in a pan with a little bit of water and salt. Okie doke, smoke, she got it. Excellente. All right. Joanna says, I cut a small slit in the skin and that helps it go down. Yes, remember that often, pardon me, poultry, chickens, if they're not cut up, can get water under the skin, which will work like a balloon. So yes, that's a good idea. Cut a little slit in the skin. Absolutely. Hello, Mary Menke Koch, or Cook, or however you say that. Yay! Okie doke. Let's see what else is going on here about meat stock or anything else. If anyone has other questions about meat stock, any of it, types of meat, how to cook, what kind of pots you need, la 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 la. You can ask them here and now. Yes, and remember that when you're serving the stock, you're always serving it with what? You're serving it with fat from the stock. In stage 1, you're serving it with salt. You're serving it with garlic, remembering that garlic is a strong, potent antimicrobial, and that maybe you want to watch how much you're putting in. right? So you don't have massive die-off. Remembering, too, that meat stock can provoke, that's a bad word, initiate die-off reactions. Listen to your body. Listen to your body. How much does it want today? Pardon me, how much does it want in this sitting? You know, does it like chicken versus beef? Does it like lamb? I mean, I'm a lamb stock lover. That's me. My favorite. All right, let's see what else we've got here. Okay. I'm going to go and answer the question from Yasmin. Yasmin, we are on stage 4, but struggling with constipation, especially if I increase kefir. How do I help my children go without enema daily? We are on stage 4. Well, remembering, folks, let's go back to thinking about kefir, which we love, but going back to cultured dairy, we remember that cultured dairy, if it's high protein, which means that kefir made of milk will be constipating versus kefir made with cream. So you may want to look at that. You may want to switch from milk kefir to kefir cream. That could be it. If you're struggling with constipation on stage 4, I would be making sure that you're doing lots of GAPS shakes, right? What is constipation? Constipation, let's look at constipation. Constipation can happen from 3 things, usually. 1, not enough water. Children should have probably a liter of water a day, depending on how old they are. Adults, 2 liters or 2 quarts of water a day. What else? Second reason for constipation is congested liver. I'm going to cough. Pardon me. Clear my throat. The second thing that produces constipation is a congested liver. So that means work the liver. What does that mean? Castor oil pack on the liver? Yes. Even for children, really good idea. Eat liver? Yes. What else? Drink beet kvass? Yes. GAPS shakes for sure? Yes. With the whole egg and the cultured cream, or the whole egg and some other fat, using the recipe on page, I think it's on page 81. 80. Page 80, Blue Book. Blue Book, page 80. I also posted this recipe on our page. This is the official GAPS shake recipe to remove bile stones and restore fat digestion. That also means help decongest the liver. Okay, what else? Eat beets, steam beets, eat fermented beets, juice beets. Beets are great for congested liver. Third reason for constipation is your microbiome needs to be adjusted. That's a nice word. I don't want to say fixed, but we want to bring in some more good guys. The other thing is on stage 4, make sure you're getting enough olive oil in, right? Good olive oil. I would also be perhaps adding in raw vegetables, even if you're on stage 4. Even though that's a stage 5 food, start bringing in some lettuce, maybe. That could help. And we love enemas. Why? Because they're detoxing. We love it. We love them. Get jiggy with enemas. Everyone should be doing enemas or learning how to do them and doing them with their children if they're necessary. You're welcome, Yasmin. You do GAPS shake once a day. Just make sure you're doing the GAPS shake and you're using enough fat in that GAPS shake to help that bile to move. Yeah? Excellent. All right. Moving on. We're going to move to Kathleen. Hello, Kathleen. What is going on with Kathleen? All right. My child is accustomed to taking fish oil and cod liver oil every day. Excellent. I'm putting her back on intro after eating back into it from full GAPS. Should I continue? Should I still cut it out? I would continue. If she's been on full gaps for a long time and you're going backwards, I would continue. I, Monica Corrado, blah, 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 certified GAPS practitioner, would continue with giving fish oil and cod liver oil at the current levels. That's what I would do. Yes. Hello, Jenna. How great to have you. All right. So we're talking about meat stock today, and anything else you want to talk about. I want to talk about a couple things here, folks. 2 things. Number 1, GAPS online conference, otherwise known as GAPS OnCon 2024, happening in a month. We're about 4 weeks out, maybe 5 weeks out. GAPS online conference, all about raising your children the GAPS way. So what does that mean? That means that we're going to have lots of tips and tricks and hints and good ideas that people will be sharing with you about how to make the implementation of the GAPS diet easier for children. Whether it's a child right out of the chute, pardon me, just born, or whether it's a child that is 17 or 18, I'll be talking about them, or even in college. How do you do GAPS in the real world? How do you do it? What are some tips? What are some tricks? And I really encourage you to get your tickets now. It's all online. It is, golly gee, 4 days. Dr. Natasha's teaching. I'm teaching 2 sessions. There'll be a bonus session on meat stock that I'm doing. What else? All sorts of great things. Jump on that for sure. Use M Corrado, that's me, 24, MCORRADO 24 for some money off of your ticket. Remembering, if you can't make it because you live on the other side of the world, or you can't make it because you're working or because you're traveling, it is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days. If you buy your ticket, you will get the all the recordings, and then you can watch them whenever you want. You can watch them while you're doing dishes. You can watch them while you're listen to them while you're in the bath, taking an Epsom salt bath. You can, listen to them when you're walking your dog. I mean, they're available to you, so you don't have to be there live. All the information is for you. Yay! Anissa's gonna go. Wonderful. Thank you for the heart. Oh, Jenna, beautiful. I love that sparkly one. All right. What else have we got going on here? We have something else from Laura. Hooray, Laura. Okay. Dr. Natasha, by the way, everyone. I said 2 things. One is OnCon. I'll tell you the second one in a minute. I get to teach with Dr. Natasha this afternoon. Yes, in 1 hour and 16 minutes. I will be teaching with her the Certified GAPS Coach Training Program. Hooray! I just put that out there because I just love this woman, and she's amazing. And she's got a heart of gold, and just being with her for 2 or 3 hours is just such an uplifting thing. So I really encourage you all to jump on, not only get your ticket to the OnCon, but also jump on YouTube and watch everything she's ever talked about, because you'll get a sense of her and you'll feel better. No joke. Just by watching her talk about anything. I know. We all love her. All right, going back. So the second thing, number 1, and I'm getting to you, Laura, I swear. Number 1 is all about OnCon. Number 2 is all about, I have something called the Meat Stock Masterclass. I'm about to run a special on it. It is currently 91 hours of video. Am I right? Yeah. 84 lessons? I don't know. It's huge. But since we're talking about meat stock, folks, remember that meat stock is the hallmark. It is the star. It is the only thing happening in stage 1 intro. And it morphs in stage 2 into casseroles and stews. So in stage 1, you're drinking meat stock, you're having hearty soups, you're having blended soups you're making from vegetables that you cooked in the stock, etc. Stage 2, you're taking that stock and you're making casseroles and you're making stews. And how many people here are actually doing that on stage 2? I'm looking at like 20%. The vast majority of people missed that little line that we're supposed to be actually add stews and casseroles made with meat and vegetables. Anyway, I go through all of that in the class, and I hope you all love it. Okay, so that's my second thing. So now, let's just see what happens. No, Jenna, this is a training call with the coaches. So I do know that I think you know, on the forum for graduates, she does a live Q&A once a month. So check that out. That's really for people who have graduated. This is just for coaches who want to ask their questions in their training. So, yep. Okay, here's Laura. Dr. Natasha talks about administering DE. For those of you who are not in the know, that's diatomaceous earth, to address parasites. Is this orally or through enemas? Case study on page 192, Blue Book. Laura is talking my language. Get to that book and give me that page. All right, let's look. Case study 911. Okay, so la 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 la. I'm singing to you so you're not getting bored while I am looking up. I'm looking for DE. Okay. After 1.5 years on no plant, great idea. Asthma, environmental allergies, and hay fever were gone. Did we all hear that? And this child, James, looked very healthy. Parents started doing enemas at bedtime, and he was given DE, diatomaceous earth, to address parasites. Yes. Okay. No, the diatomaceous earth is oral. Yeah. Great, great, great. Thank you for that. For some reason, I'm getting blacked out. I'm going to come over here and get more light. All right. So DE, so diatomaceous earth is oral. Remember that in this case study, this child had already been on no plant for 1.5 years. We do not start with diatomaceous earth right away. We make sure that a lot of healing has happened. I know you know that, but I just want to say it because I think it's important for people. You know, people say, oh, yay, new tool. Let's just jump on, and things like that can cause more problems than not if your body is not ready to handle it. So let's not just jump on the old DE bandwagon in the first week of GAPS, or month, or 2 months, or 6 months, or 8 months, or maybe even the first year. Right? Let's make sure that the detox pathways are open. Let's make sure that the gut is healed and sealed. Let's make sure that the bowels are moving the way they need to be. Right? Let's make all those things. We want to make sure of all those things before we even think about bringing in DE. Okay. So it is oral. If you're going to work with diatomaceous earth, you want to get something that's clean. Obviously, I just want to say that, even though I know you all know, but some people don't know. So get the cleanest you can find. And then you must take diatomaceous earth starting with a very little bit, like maybe 1/8 teaspoon, like little bit. And you take it away from meals. And the reason you take it away from meals is because if you don't, it can bind with nutrients and take them out of your body. Same thing can happen if you're working with charcoal, right? So make sure you're not, wants to be empty stomach. So first thing when you wake up, great idea. 20 to 30 minutes before a meal or longer, 2 to 2.5 hours after a meal. That's when you work with that. Very little. Yeah. Okay. Fabulous. Laura, I love to hear that from you. All right. Anissa asks, is it okay if in the next batch of my kefir, I add a tub of raw cream after I have sieved the grains and let it ferment? No. Here's why. If you're going to use, remembering, let me start in a different place. The challenge with all dairy is that it is full of lactose. The other challenge is it's full of casein, of course. But why do we culture dairy? We culture it to make sure, we culture it long. First of all, we culture it and we culture it long to make sure that those fabulous microbes, lactobacilli and yeasts, pre-digest. They eat the sugar. They eat the lactose for us. That's the point of the long ferment. If you pour a tub of raw cream into kefir that's already done, you would have to wait another 24 hours to make sure that the lactose in the cream is pre-digested. So my suggestion is either take some of your milk kefir and use it to inoculate that raw cream and make kefir cream. That's in my book too. Easy peasy. It's in Dr. Natasha's blue book. Yeah. Or take milk and cream, mix them together, and make that into your kefir. Yeah, I hope that's helpful and clear. I've heard to use activated charcoal before bed while on the GAPS protocol. Yes, you can use, as far as I know, you can use activated charcoal and or diatomaceous earth. Activated charcoal really works binding toxins. DE really works with parasites. So they may have overlap, but that's my understanding. Yeah, that's my understanding of the two of them. Yes, you can use them, but you use them after you've had at least, again, a year and a half of healing. Then we start doing something like that. You're welcome, Yasmin. Yep. But again, always just a little bit. We listen to the body. We respect the body. We always start with just a little bit of whatever we're doing differently. And then we watch. Is the body happy about this? Or is it a little too strong? We always want to be just, right, listening to the body. What is a positive thing that we can do? All right. Good, good, good. You are welcome, Yasmin and Anissa. All right. Anybody else have questions? We've got a few minutes left. Happy to answer something about meat stock, anything else that I can help with. All right. We have oxalate issues, but I love beet kvass. But I would love to have beet kvass, but we struggle. So, a couple things about oxalates. Oxalates, salicylates, whatever we are like pulling out and saying, it's that little tiny problem right over there. Most of the time, again, with all due respect for you and your family, whatever's happening, usually what Dr. Natasha will say is work the diet and those specific issues will clear. Yeah? For people who have very, very strong oxalate issues or strong reactions to oxalates, then she suggests staying off oxalates, high oxalate foods for, as long as you need to, 6 months, then try to introduce a year, then try to introduce, we're always listening to the body. Pardon me. And what we know is that fermentation, so making beet kvass, fermenting beets, fermenting high oxalate foods brings the oxalates down. That means decreases them or gets rid of them entirely. There you go. So you may be able to try beet kvass earlier than you thought because the process of fermenting the beets reduces the oxalates. Right? We love that. All right. Laura. One of my boys constantly sneezing when he wakes up. What is it? Laura, I don't know. Do you have mold in your house? Question mark. Do you have dander? Do you need to get a good, what do you call those things? A good air filter, a HEPA filter to take dust and dander out of the house? Are you washing his sheets often enough? Are you using things that are green laundry detergent? I would start there. And then we know that sneezing is another way that the body is getting toxins out of the body, right? Sneezing out. So, yeah, you might want to do some things to support his lungs and support his sinuses. You might want to think, if you've done everything else that I talked about prior, about, HEPA filter, cats or dogs, clean the sheets, make sure there's no mold, all those things. You may want to diffuse some essential oils in his room overnight. That could help. You may want to do a neti pot with him, see if that helps. You may want to use some breathe oil or eucalyptus oil on his lung 1 points. You may want to take him for acupressure or acupuncture. There's lots of things you could check out. Just some thoughts. All right, Jody says, hey, Jody, do you use the white or the yellow part of an egg? Yellow. My scalp is greasy, but my hair is brittle, very dry. If your hair is brittle and very dry, that usually, again, in my understanding, that usually means you need more fats. It also means you need more collagen, right? What is hair? What is hair? Skin, nails, nose, made out of collagen. So make sure that you are, that you're getting enough meat stock, you're getting enough collagen, you're getting enough fat. You use the egg yolk part of the egg. Some people add water and shake it up in a bottle and use that. And then you could certainly do some wonderful things like, if your hair is dry and brittle, start from the inside, collagen with meaning meat stock, but also make sure you're getting enough vitamin C, sauerkraut. You need both of them to actually weave the collagen together. And then make sure you're getting enough fats. Fats. Did I say fats? Yeah, a lot of fat. If you think you're eating enough, eat more. And then you could do topical, which is, once or twice a week or more. Use olive oil, some fabulous, clean, organic, or at least expeller pressed if it's from Europe. Often we don't need organic if it's from Europe because they don't do the things that Americans do to their crops. You could do olive oil at night, like just really saturate your hair and then wrap it in a towel, go to sleep. And then the heat from your head will really make your hair nice and lustrous. All right. Okie dokie. Let's see. Jenna wants to know, any help for dandruff? Yes. Well, dandruff, it goes yeast problem. Did I say that? Dandruff usually is a yeast issue. So again, how much kefir? Like if you're having dandruff, you're welcome, Jody. I would be drinking a lot of kefir, a lot of vegetable medley. So kefir cream, vegetable medley. I would be rubbing kefir into the scalp at least once or twice a week. Rub it in. It doesn't have to be sopping. Just rub it to your scalp level. Go to bed. Dandruff equals yeast issue. You could also use, again, kefir on the scalp, but you could also rub olive oil into the scalp, again, at nighttime. So what I was saying for Jody was rub olive oil into the hair itself. What I'm saying for you, Jenna, is olive oil into the scalp itself. Olive oil, fantastic. And then, you could get one of those silly shower caps and go to bed. Put it on your head so it doesn't get all over your sheets and your pillow, but the heat will really help a lot. Yeah, I would not wash with ACV. I see that you're washing with kefir. I would wash with egg yolks, and I would use kefir topically and make sure you're drinking enough kefir. I would also cut out all nuts and seeds and fruit for at least 3 to 6 months, probably 6 months. Sandy is offering castor oil for hair growth. Let's put that castor oil right on your scalp. I love it. Thank you, Sandy. All right. You're working on correcting mouth breathing. Good idea. Okay. And mouth breathing is usually structural. I'm sure you're doing what you need to do for that. Okay. Anissa says, a 2-year-old nettle tea. I love nettle tea. Okay. You're welcome, Jenna. Shoot me a note anytime. Okay. if I can be helpful. Okay, for a 2-year-old who has eczema kind of thing on her elbow, can we apply? Yes. So just so everyone knows, I have an article that I wrote probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. It's sitting in featured posts. It's all about kefir and eczema. It talks about using it internally and externally. You can absolutely put kefir, use it externally, yes. You can also try things, Anissa, like raw honey on her elbow. A couple of days, see how that works. Of course, you want to bandage it so it doesn't get everywhere. You could try, Dr. Natasha talks about comfrey leaves, but a lot of people can't find fresh comfrey leaves, so maybe not. Seaweed, yeah. Cod liver oil, you could try that on your elbow. You could try castor oil on her elbow. Lots of things. Absolutely. Hello, Adam. Okay, folks, I have less than an hour and I have to be on with Dr. Natasha, so I'm going to close. It has been wonderful to be with all of you today, and I will look forward to seeing you next week. Same GAPS time, same GAPS channel. You are welcome. You're welcome, Anissa. Yep, my daughter had this. And yeah, increase the kefir. Kefir. Did I say kefir? Who said kefir? Did anyone say kefir? Kefira. It is the answer to so many things. All right. Blessings to all of you, and we'll see you next week, where we will continue this conversation about GAPS basics. Stay tuned. Be well. Bye now.